Hello, this is Jim Bob Leach from the TDI support team. Welcome to another edition of the ConsoleWorks instructional video series. In this video, we're going to be talking about CW SSH CLI, that is the ConsoleWorks SSH command line interface. This is one of the new features that ships in version 4.5 of ConsoleWorks. We're going to be using the CW SSH CLI to create a console, an event, and a scan, and then associate the three so that we can monitor a machine. Alright, let's get started. So you've downloaded the CW SSH CLI from our website, and using the included instructions you've installed and set up the SSH server. Using PuTTY or your favorite terminal emulator, you have logged into ConsoleWorks, and now you sit here at the ConsoleWorks prompt wondering what next. Well, for starters, we could see just what we have to work with. Maybe list out the consoles that have already been defined for this ConsoleWorks invocation. To do that, or to list out any resource, we could use the list command. To find out just what resources we have available to be displayed using the list command, we can use the tab key, press that twice, to list out all of the resources that can be displayed. We're interested in consoles, so let's type console. And you can see here that we have a couple of consoles in addition to the standard ConWorks console that are defined here. But we'd like to create our own console, so let's do that now using the add command. Inside the CW SSH tool, anytime you use a command and you would like some help on just what the usage for that command is, you can type the command followed by the question mark to get a little bit of help there. And you can see that what we need to do is, after typing add, we need to specify the type of resource. We're going to add a console, so we'll type that in, and then we need to name that console because we are going to be monitoring a Linux machine using the Mint distribution. We're going to name this console Minty. And then we need to specify some fields. To do that, to figure out what we need to specify, we can type the tab key again, and we get a list of all of the fields that are possible to be set from the command line interface. As a minimum, we're going to need to set the port field, which is the domain name and path for our console. So we will set that right now, and then we need to set the socket. And we're going to use 22 because we're going to use the connector type of SSH with a password. We're going to need to specify the username, which I've already set up on our machine, and a password. And we've saved our console. So if you would like to verify that that console has indeed been created with the information that you want, you can log into the GUI, which I've also done here. And by going to the View Console screen, we can see that we now have Minty added to our list of consoles. You may also see that we could add a description to that console to kind of describe what this machine is. We can do that from the command line by using the edit command. We could have specified a description when we added it, but we can also do that afterwards. By using the tab completion, we can again see all of the different resources that you can use to with the edit command. We're going to edit a console and specify the name of that console, and then the field that we would like to edit, and just give it a quick description here. Type enter, and we can see that that has been saved. If we use the list command, to list our consoles, once again you can see we have our Minty console with the connector SSH password. The status is normal, and you can see the description that we added using the edit command. So let's go ahead now and add a scan. Using the add command again, we will specify a scan. We're going to want to name that scan. We'll call it Minty Scan. And when you add a scan, you need to specify the description. So we're going to say just a quick description there. It doesn't really have to be anything specific. And we have our scan added. Let's go ahead and also add an event. And to do that, we are in much the same fashion going to specify event and then name that event. The fields that we want to specify when adding an event are the pattern, very important, and the severity, which I'm going to set as major. And we will hit enter there. If you don't know the severities that are available for in your ConsoleWorks invocation, you can use the list command again, and using our tab completion we can see that severity is indeed one of the resources that can be displayed, and we will type that in, and you can see all of the severities we have available that have been defined and the associated color, which really doesn't make much difference in the command line interface, but does get displayed in the GUI. So now we have our console, our scan, and our event. We need to associate those three in order to monitor our machine. So the first thing we're going to do is associate, using the associate command, our event to our scan. Using tab completion again, we can see all of the different types of associations that can be made, and we want to pick event to scan, and by using the tab completion we can complete that command, save you a little bit of typing there. And then on all associations you'll want to specify the name of the resources in the order of the type of association you're making. So here we want to specify our event, which was Minty event, and our scan, which was Minty scan. And our association has been added. To make sure that that association has been added, we can use the get association command, and using tab completion to finish that out there, and then again to figure out what association we want to get, we're going to use the event to scan association, and then in this case you only have to specify the first resource, which was Minty event, and you can see that indeed Minty event belongs to the scan Minty scan. So we were successful in making that association. Let's go ahead and associate our scan to our console. Scan to console, and then we'll specify the scan name and the console name. Okay, and that association was added as well. So now we have an event that's part of a scan that has been associated to a console. Now, anytime that our event is triggered, we will get an event occurrence for our console. You can check the event occurrences by using the command summary. And you can see that our Minty console already has one major event occurrence. We just created this console and we haven't really done anything with it, so we might be interested in figuring out what's going on with our console. To do that, to get a closer look at that console in specific, we can use the list event occurrences command and specify our console, and that's going to give us a list of the event occurrences. Now, we don't really have a lot of information here, but we do have the name, which then will allow us to display that event occurrence. And in this case, we have an underscore in between event and occurrences. And then we're going to specify the name of our occurrence here. And we can see that this event occurrence was a console works detecting a new SSH fingerprint, and to warn you to verify if this was indeed expected. And because we had just created the console, this was indeed expected, and we can cancel that event occurrence by using the cancel command. That's going to acknowledge and then purge our event occurrence. So we're going to cancel that event occurrence, and if you would like to specify an acknowledge comment, you can do so right after that. We're just going to say cleanup, and that will get logged in the ConWorks log. And now if we run our summary command again, you'll see that the Menti console has no event occurrences anymore because we've canceled the only one that was there. So let's see if we can trigger the event, the Menti event that we created, in order to test out our console monitoring. To do that, we're going to connect to our console using the connect command and specify the console name. And here we are in our connected to the Menti console, and we're just going to type the pattern, and then to get out we are going to do control / and then X, and we disconnected from Menti. Let's run the summary command, and now we see, lo and behold, we have a major event, and we were expecting that because we typed the pattern, which was specified as test, for our Menti event. Going through the same process as we did just a minute ago, we can list the event occurrences for Menti specifically and get the name of that event occurrence. And we will grab that right there and then say display event underscore occurrences and specify that event occurrence, and we can see that is the Menti event. It has a severity color of red like we specified. It was for the console Menti. You can see all of the details there, and just like we did before, we could cancel that. We could also acknowledge and purge separately, but we're going to go ahead and cancel just for our purposes here and not specify an acknowledge comment this time. And you can see now, using the summary command, we have indeed acknowledged and purged that comment from the event occurrences. So there you have it. Hopefully the commands that we've gone through here will give you enough to get started with the CW SSH CLI. We hope you find it very useful, and would like to remind you that you can go to the TDI wiki at wiki.tditechnologies.com for additional help, and also use all of the commands that are available for the CW SSH CLI are shipped in the CW SSH CLI download. Take a look at that, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact support. Thank you for your attention today, and we'll see you soon.